Hi, my name is Jesse at Trash Panda, and I currently make fully recycled discs. To be totally honest with you, when I started this journey, I way underestimated it. Needless to say, the last few months have basically been a masterclass. So today, I wanted to share some of the things I've learned along this journey with you. We're gonna talk about the complexities of plastics, why two destroyers are never the same, how I made 3 discs in the same mold that are 3 completely different weights, starter packs, and my 5-year plans. Let's do this. Okay, first off, this is a lot to talk about, so that's better. The first and most important thing that I've learned is that making a disc is hard. When a new disc golf company pops up, it's almost guaranteed that they're outsourcing their manufacturing to someone like Gateway, and I've come to learn there's a really specific reason for that. It's hard as hell. If you haven't seen Latitude 64's recent video about how a disc is made, I would highly suggest it. I've linked it below. It's complex, engineered, and beautiful. My process is a little more stripped down and DIY. I opened up the polls on Instagram and got a ton of questions about plastics, so hopefully this will synthesize all those questions. How many types of plastic are there? When I started this, I would have said 7, right? Like the 7 numbers found on the bottom of all plastic objects. But the reality is that no one knows, because there are literally thousands. Like, thousands. I also thought at one point that all plastics could just be thrown into a big vat and recycled together. But every single plastic has its own unique structure and, most important for recycling, its own melting point. This is where it gets pretty tricky. If you mix 2 different plastic types, the less dense one will melt before the more dense one. And by the time the more dense one has melted, the less dense one will have burned. That's why blending plastics is pretty much out of the question. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm interested in something that's recycled and recyclable. In the early stages of Trash Panda, my eyes are laser focused on the plastics that are most commonly produced in our world and that most commonly end up in landfills, oceans, and disc golf courses. If a plastic water bottle decomposes in 450 years, just imagine how long it takes a disc. Actually, the answer to this is quite simple. No one can chemically make the same exact plastic twice, kind of like a snowflake. So it's actually impossible. Obviously, people get on Innova for producing more inconsistencies, and there may be something in their process that does produce more variance than, say, Latitude 64. But when you get down to it, no one disc is the same. If not already evident, I've learned that plastic is way more complex than any of us who use it on a daily basis even understand. And that deserves a drink. One more thing to explain just how complex plastics really are. Get this, I made these 3 discs all out of the same mold. They're perfectly smooth and they weigh 150, 162, and 170 grams. After my first few prototypes came out, a bunch of people offered insight as to the density of the plastic, and here's what I learned. Based off of the different amounts of pressure I apply, I can actually change the density of the plastic. Mind blown. So this is high density polyethylene, this is higher density polyethylene, and this is even higher density polyethylene. Whew. On Instagram, at DecoDiscs asked, once you perfect your putter mold, any intentions to make a recycled driver or mid? And at Chavez24 asked, do you plan to eventually expand to a starter kit? And the answer to both those questions is yes, absolutely. My main goal is to grow the sport sustainably, and a starter pack is perfect for that. For more experienced players, one of the biggest factors in disc golf is feel. Over the course of making these prototypes, I've learned that I can't really choose how the plastic feels. Because I'm using plastics produced from others, that part's not up to me. So there may be a better feeling putter out there, but does anything feel better than doing something positive for the environment? Which leads me to another question. At Discman with a 1 asked, do you think people will buy your discs over other brands? And I love this question. I'm gonna share a secret with you. I have no interest in competing with Innova, Discraft, Trilogy, or anyone else for that matter. The environmental problem our world is facing will take teamwork, not competition. I hope one day beginners can buy a starter set from me and then maybe move on to more premium plastics as they start competing. The biggest manufacturers on the market are in this to make the best discs on Earth. I'm in this to make the best discs for the Earth, which gets to my favorite question. At Inhumane asked, where do you hope Trash Panda is in 5 years? And this is something I think about every single day. There are a ton of dreams I have, like maybe one day outfitting a sustainable van for a touring pro. That would be amazing. But for now, I'll keep my answer simple and to my why. Trash Panda exists to grow the sport sustainably. And in 5 years, my dream is that Trash Panda is seen as the expert in sustainability in disc golf. And to that, I will cheers. I am not an expert by any means, and a lot of the things I just mentioned, I learned from subscribers like you. So thanks for learning with me, and to some of you, thanks for teaching me. I'd be happy to answer other questions, and also if you have further insight on anything I mentioned, feel free to add it in the comments below. Please subscribe to support the channel, and we'll see you next time.